Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday, April 27th. Yeah, April 27th. Lost track of the days. Okay, so last night, one half of the finals bracket is filled in, and the other half still to be filled in. That will be done tonight. All right, so let's talk about, uh, boy, talk about deja vu all over again. It is the second straight year that Carolina and Columbus have, well, third straight year actually, they have met in the playoffs. Second year, they went to the third game, overtime, double overtime. Second year in a row, Gus Ford puts the game on his stick and puts it away. So yeah, 3-2 win finally after 88 minutes of play. The Carolina Thunderbirds go on, and they'll be playing in the finals once again. Columbus again, coming up a little bit short after a very good season. And what can you say? All right, so let's get into this. The game started off with a bang. Hunter Bersani, first shift, 24 seconds in, gets a puck past Cavallari, and it's 1-0, just like that. Fans start talking about maybe we should have played Babbitt tonight instead of Cavallari, but that was a discussion that was had for a little bit, and then it kind of went away. All right, so end of 1-1 Columbus. 9-8 are the shots. Again, not a whole lot going on in the opening period. That was a theme for this series, and so now we go into the second. Again, things open up big time. 17 shots in the first period combined between the two teams. 31 in the second. Just like Friday's game, the offense just opened up in that second period. Only one goal scored, though, and it's Jan Slak. Slak ties the game up at 4:55, and that was it. Babin making saves, Cavallari making saves. But I will say this. Overall, I thought the pace of this game was a bit slow. The teams, I'm sure, very tired. Um, kind of looked like they were both feeling it. It almost gave the impression of no urgency by either team, and that's not true. Obviously, both teams understood the situation. Both teams understood they had to win this game. But yeah, very, very, very slow flow to the game. So we go to the third period, and things pick up a little bit. And it is James Farmer using some speed, and he surprises some people and gets the puck past Trevor Babin. 3:35 of the third period. But then it was Justin McDonald putting things on his shoulders, and 11:35 he ties the game up. And it was crazy. There's 5 minutes left in the game, and 4 minutes, and everybody's already saying, "Yeah, looks like we're going overtime." So they already knew the drill. It was almost like this was scripted. Not saying it was. It was not scripted. All right, but nonetheless, made for some good sports entertainment theater. So we go to overtime, and I'm sorry, shots were 10-8 in favor of the River Dragons in that third period. Go to overtime. Both teams very, very calculated. No, nobody wanted to make the big mistake. Nobody wanted to be that guy that was responsible for giving up the game that sends you home. So it was a very cautious period. Shots were 11-9 in favor of Carolina. We go to the second overtime. River Dragons. I think Boom Boom kind of sat down with his team in the locker room and said, "Look, let's extend this. Let's get this over. Let's open it up. Hope for the best. We've got the talent. We believe in ourselves." Yeah, I don't know what he said, but there was a lot of intensity to the River Dragons game, and suddenly the urgency was there. And Mario Cavallari had to make some really big saves, and that was the turning point of this game. Was okay, shots in that second overtime period, 8-4, and Columbus was controlling the puck possession, time with possession. They were dominating, and Cavallari stood on his head, made 3 really huge saves, really really big saves. And the next thing you know, Jacob Gagnon, he outlets to Gus Ford, who just casually, not casually, but I mean, it kind of looked like he was just in I've got this mode. Cruises down the left wing boards, cuts in a little bit, lets a wrister go. It beats Babin. There you go. There's your game. 8:31 of the second overtime period. Gus Ford, and this was Gus Ford's first point for the series. He had been very quiet up until now in this series. It was the Czechs that carried the Thunderbirds primarily into this game, and Gus Ford suddenly said, "You know what? I'm putting this away," and he did. There we go. So, excellent game. 3-2 is the final, and this game ended before this game did, or after. Excuse me. Started an hour earlier and ended much later. All right, so yeah, Justin McDonald and Hunter Bassani with the goals for Columbus River Dragons. Babin stops 46-49. Most any other night, that would be a very good night. And it was not the case this night because Mario Cavallari stopped 47 of 49. Literally, one save made the difference in this game. Jacob Schnapp had a couple of assists forward with that game winner. And Jan Salak also scoring. So, yeah, so Carolina is going back to the finals. We'll get back to that in just a minute because while this is decided, Carolina returning to the finals for the third year in a row, it is undecided yet who the opponent is because Binghamton staves off elimination and they force a deciding game 3 tonight. Flipping the script. Friday, the Black Bears get dominated. It's a 3-0 win for Port Huron. Black Bears return the favor, and it's a 4-0 victory in Binghamton last night. So with this game, we started off pretty hot. Now this was the surprising thing. Valtteri Nusiainen was the starting goalie. I thought the team would kind of go with a hot hand, stick with Reed Cooper. But talking directly to Will Wigelman, he said, no, this was pre-planned. This was set before the series even began. It was going to be Cooper in game 1, Nusiainen in game 2. So there we go. And Cooper got the night off. And I would think we're probably going to see him tonight. Meanwhile, it's Connor McAnanima. He's played every playoff game in the last 2 years for the Binghamton Black Bears. He stands in net for Binghamton. It's Gavin Yates scoring on the power play at 10:43. Some really slick stick work, beautiful pass from Donald Alveri, and it's 1-0. So in the second, I'm sorry, we're still in the first. Late in the first, it's again Alveri setting up this time Tyson Kirkby with the close-in chip and beats Nusiainen to the stick side. 18:45, the time of that goal, 2-0 in the first period. Big difference. This was the key part of this game is Binghamton's defense. They stepped up their game, whereas they were somewhat passive in game one last night. They were very active, sticks active, a lot of poke checks, a lot of sweep checks, um, and a couple of blocked shots. Port Huron could not get anything in on Connor McAnanima. Shots at the end of the first period, 19-2. So Binghamton, they did it one period against Watertown where they just shut things down. They did it again last night with Port Huron. 19-2 shots after one period. In the second period, now this was very interesting. Dan Stone, defensive man, carries in from the red line, dodges and weaves through, and just slips the puck underneath the glove of Nutsiainen at 4:46. But wait, we have some drama. All right, the goal scored, the celebration happens, and suddenly there's a conversation over at the Port Huron bench because about 45 seconds before Stone scored that goal, I forget who it was. I think it was Dakota Bond. Fired a shot from the point, and I'm not sure if it was deflected or if it was just a high shot. But anyway, the shot, you hear the sound of it hitting the glass, but at the end of the boards, the netting, the protective netting, connects with the boards. And I and some of the other people in the press box saw the net ripple just a little bit. So we were all going, oh, that out of play? But there was no whistle, no stoppage of play. So play continued continuously until the goal was scored. And Chris Pollan, at the end of the game, was interviewed by Will Wiggleman, and he was asked, what happened? What was with the big discussion with the referees? Why did the referees go into the penalty box and pull out the rule book? They weren't looking at game replay, reviewing the goal. They were looking at the rule book, which was very interesting. So apparently, Pollan said, I would like to challenge this because I think the puck was out of play 45 seconds before the goal was scored. All right. Initially, the referee said, we can't review that. And Pollan said, I have it on authority that you can. So they went over, looked at the rule book. The referees came back, said, it's our interpretation that's not reviewable. So now the interesting part of this is Chris Pollan said that he talked to Paul Jean, head of officials, after a game in Danbury on the subject, and then had it confirmed 2 days earlier. So was he clairvoyant? Kind of strange. Anyway, the goal's ruled a good goal. We go on. 3-0 at the end of 2. Shots in that second period, 10-7. Now, very early on, it was 8-1 in that second period, and Port Huron got their feet moving, started getting some pucks on net. So by the time we got to the end of the second period, they caught up a little bit, 10-7 the shots, but still overall is 29-9 through 2 periods. All right, in the third period, this was just mind blowing. 1-on-1, shorthanded. Binghamton comes down. It's Chris Mott, and he just did this really weird stutter step. Let's go with a wrister from the circle, and it beats Nusiainen 7:02 the time of that goal. You usually see like a head fake or a toe drag, something like that, but no, this was definitely like a stutter step. Crazy. So anyway, Chris Mott he puts the Black Bears up 4-0, and they hold on to that lead. Um, End of the game, 8-7 were the shots in favor of Port Huron in the third period. So as the game went on, Port Huron was able to get a little bit more pressure. Could that be a harbinger of what's to come tonight? Well, we'll see. We will see. But anyway, Binghamton wins this game 4-2, 4-0. Excuse me. They tie the series up one apiece, and we go to a game 3 tonight, 6 o'clock. Now, crowd of 44,88 on hand. Connor McAnanima saving 17 pucks. Nothing got past him. Nusiainen, 32 of 36. We had Oliveri with 3 primary assists last night. Chris Mott with that shorthanded goal. Yates with the game-winning goal, which was a power play goal early on. So, all right. Looking ahead to tonight and beyond. Of course, Binghamton and Port Huron, winner take all. Loser goes home and makes their appointment for their tea times. So, very, very important game. Carolina gets one extra day to rest up, plus the fact that, well, they might not have to travel, and I'll explain this. All right, now, as we go through things, the remaining 3 teams, we'll do this just for the time being. All right. If you go in order of seeding with these 3 teams, it's 1, 2, 3. So, as we know, the final is a best of 5. First 2 games are at the lower seed. Last 3 games at the higher seed. So, if Binghamton wins, Binghamton would travel to Carolina for Friday and Saturday this upcoming weekend, take on the Thunderbirds at Fairgrounds Arena. All right. If Port Huron wins, Port Huron would host games this upcoming weekend, and then the final 3 games would be in Carolina. So it's a little interesting dynamic. Of course, we don't know. All we know are the days are set for the finals. This upcoming weekend, Friday and Saturday, games 1 and 2. The following weekend, game 3 on Friday, if necessary, game 4 and game 5. Did I say game 3 on Saturday? No. Game 3 is on Friday. Game 4 would be Saturday, if necessary. Game 5, if necessary, on Sunday. So, there we go. There is our interesting twist with that. And it'll be very interesting to see how this turns out, so we know exactly what we're looking at in the final. Are we looking at a repeat of last year's final? Well, Carolina certainly hopes not. Even if they're playing the same team, they're hoping for a better result. Of course, the Black Bears swept the series last year 3-0. Port Huron is looking to get back to the finals for the first time in 7 years, and they have the team to do it. I think they're the only team that have beaten Binghamton 3 times this year. And they have the last half of the season, they have played extremely well. One of the hotter teams in the league. So this is going to be a very entertaining matchup tonight, I believe. And I think either way, it's going to be a very entertaining finals as well. All right, so there we go. There's our wrap up for today. Tomorrow, I will be on the Flash Audio Network recapping Game 3. So I won't be able to be here on YouTube. Got to get up early for work, so I don't have time to do a video. So make sure you are subscribed to the Flash Audio Network, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon Music, or CastBox, whichever platform you like to listen to. Just search for the Fed League Flash. And I'm doing my my Flash Audio Network spiel here. Also, make sure that you are following me on Facebook. All the links for those sites that I talked about with Flash Audio Network are pinned up at the top of my page on Facebook, so you can get the links there. All right. Oh, last note I forgot to talk about. Before this game started last night, Binghamton Black Bears made the announcement that they were going to be covering the game on Twitch. Obviously, they've not been having much luck with YouTube. So they ended up doing that, and 10 minutes in, the feed is cut. Twitch apparently copyright violation because of the music playing, through the in-house system. So Twitch is not an option. So, what's the solution? I don't know. I don't know where the game is going to be broadcast yet. I will post that on Facebook when I find out. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll let you go. Have yourselves a great Sunday. And again, we'll be with you tomorrow on the Flash Audio Network with the recap of Game 3. Have yourselves a great week ahead, and we'll talk to you again very soon.